Can you stop divorce if you're really the only one trying? It's hard to stay hopeful when you keep hearing things like this.
Relationships only work when both people are willing to put in the work.
A lot of experts say that, and if she's already emotionally out of the door, that line feels like a death sentence, doesn't it? But listen to what he says right after.
Now, it only takes one person to steer it in a healthier direction. It only takes one person to change the dynamic.
Now that's the part most men miss. Even if she's cold, distant, or convinced it's over, you still have power to spark her curiosity, to rebuild her respect for you, and to make her wonder if she gave up just a little bit too soon. Becoming the man that she'd be foolish to walk away from. That's what these men did when it felt and looked hopeless.
We're back in the same bed, tells me she loves me every day. I mean, she's apologized for everything, went and canceled the divorce. I mean, making plans for the future pretty much.
That morning, I hop out of the shower, got a towel on me, and my wife walks up and she says, "Happy birthday," and just kisses me on the lips. And man, there hasn't been much physical affection lately, and that just felt huge.
After working with thousands of men and a decade of experience as a licensed marriage family therapist, I can tell you this video may be the only path forward for you, okay? So let's jump in. If you're watching this, the chances are that you feel like you're the only one fighting for the marriage. Like she's already out the door, maybe even literally, and you're scrambling to bring her back. This video is for you because today you'll discover the painful truth about what's really driving her away and how to change it fast. The simple switch you wish you made sooner, and once you see how it's been eroding her attraction all along. And the one skill that instantly melts her defenses and creates space for real connection to occur. Now, the first step I say with urgency, because most men skip it and make things actually worse without even realizing it. And I don't want that to be you. You may have heard of this, but listen to the way I frame this in giving her space. You must respect the disconnection. In order to move forward, you must first stop going backwards. You see, most men hear the word divorce, and of course, you naturally panic. You'll send long texts, you'll try to talk it out, you'll promise change. Look, she's the love of your life and the mother of your children, if you guys have children. So of course, you want to keep the family together. I understand that more than you realize. But every single effort to fix it right now, immediately, it is desperate, okay? It looks like you're only stepping up because you're essentially losing her. And a woman doesn't want to be with a man that only changes when she pulls away. You have to face the fact that she sees all this as manipulation, and manipulation erodes respect more than anything else as fast as it can, okay? And a woman cannot physically or emotionally be with a man that she doesn't respect. So you must first lead by stepping back and respecting the space that she's asking for and having certainty that even though she's asking for space, it doesn't mean it's over. Think of like standing in quicksand, okay? The more you thrash around, the faster you're gonna sink. But when you stop fighting, you get still, you create a chance to move with control, to slowly get out. Right? Slow is safe and safe is fast. But what does this practically look like for her? Well, besides stopping the things that make her sink into a guaranteed divorce with you, you need to let her miss you. Take time to build your value again. Look at the things that she rejected in you, and we'll give you plenty of exercises in this video on how to do that. But that's the first step. Look at why she's actually leaving you. See some honesty in that, and then start working on the things to build your value back up. Because let's be honest, do you feel 100% like the man? Do you walk into every room feeling that you have an open heart and strong confidence that you own that room? Do you make strong eye contact with everyone you look at? Is your voice commanding and certain when you speak? Are your movements slow and sure? Do you consistently talk about things that light you up and make you feel passionate? Okay? If you can't answer 100% yes to all those things, then there are things to work on, and that's okay. But recognize that there are things to work on because that's the man she needs in her life. That's the man that she is drawn to. That's the man you used to be. Now the question is, how do you get back there? Well, let's start with this next crucial step, the second step, which is extreme ownership or radical responsibility. I want to explain this next step with a quick story. So Jocko Willink, former Navy SEAL, wrote the book Extreme Ownership. He was leading a mission in Iraq. Now, one night, everything went wrong. A series of mistakes led to friendly fire, and a soldier died. And when it came time to report what happened, Jocko, he could have pointed fingers, but he didn't, right? Nor did he blame the chaos of the battlefield. In this story, he says he walked into the room and said something that took even more courage.
And then I told them that there was only one person at fault for what had happened. There was only one person to blame. And that person was me.
Leadership means taking full ownership of everything that happens under your watch.
And I will tell you something, it hurt. It hurt my ego It hurt my pride to take the blame. But I also knew that to maintain my integrity as a leader and as a man, I had to take responsibility.
That kind of mindset, that's what earns you respect. But it also earns you something else, control. Even in the middle of a disaster, it puts you back in the driver's seat. Amidst all that chaos, you take control. You know, you may be the only one trying right now. I get that. But that's actually good because that's the source of your power. You see, by taking radical ownership of your role in this marriage, you let her know that you will protect her moving forward, that you will own the relationship, okay? She will know your internal narrative is, this is on me, and I will do whatever it takes to make you safe by owning what I do. This means you have to kill that inner voice in your head that says, if she only admitted to her mistakes, why do I have to be the one to make all these changes? Why can't she notice her part in this? What about all her trauma she admits to? She knows she has an avoidant personality. If she fixed that, you see what I mean? When you say these statements, all it does is take away your personal power. It takes away your responsibility so you don't have to do a damn thing. And she doesn't want to be with a man that doesn't have to change. And you know divorce does not happen from one big argument or an emotional blow up. It was a small, slow breakdown, built from patterns, reactions, consistent disconnection day by day. And every time you avoided tension, every time you shut down, instead of stepping up, the connection, it weakens, right? You can't change her side of things, but what you can control is your own side of the story. So take inventory and ask yourself, where did I check out? Where did I stop leading? Where did I get reacted to her? What was my part in this? Where did I respond out of fear instead of love? Ask yourself that question in every single moment of conflict, because that is how you take the power back. And that's what brings us to this next step, because once you master this, it will turn your most frustrating interactions with her into moments where she finally lets her guard down, right? And then that guard being down allows for that natural reconnection. And then she leans into the most important emotion before she comes back to you, curiosity, saying to herself, who is this guy in front of me? I notice his changes. The third step is the emotional mastery, from being reactive to unshakable. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat things for you, okay? This one's tough for a lot of guys to master, and it involves training a different kind of muscle. Elite athletes are always looking for that edge, right? When they max out on their dominant side, they may try to start training the weakened side, right? And I know for soccer myself, it was like I was left-footed and I could use my right foot. Both feet are more lethal. At first, it may be clumsy and uncomfortable, but when you stick with it, you unlock a new level or a skill. Now you're unpredictable. Now you balance both sides out. And I want you to think of this in terms of your logical brain and your emotional brain. Now, I know a lot of the guys I work with, they have this high rational, logical intelligence. You've trained it your whole life, but your emotional side of your brain, it's just reactive and defensive. It's stuck, honestly, in childhood, and that repels her. So instead, you have to train stillness and control, the part of you that she's never seen. So for example, when she throws a sarcastic jab at you or tries to make a dig at you to push your buttons and trigger you, instead of defending yourself, explaining, you pause, you breathe, maybe even smile at her, and you let it pass. You pass her tests. Then she may insult you. I mean, she might even test you with sharp digs at you, trying to break you. She may say to you, go find another woman, right? It's over. She might flat out even ignore you. But instead, this time, you don't flinch. You have an ability to hold center, and that earns respect in her mind. You see, most men will react and match her energy. They'll argue, they'll defend, or over-explain. But that doesn't build safety in her. It makes her more closed off, right? Study after study shows that emotional regulation, okay, it is contagious. If you stay grounded, her nervous system eventually adjusts to yours. She's in your frame, which is how it should be for the masculine and feminine, okay? Think of yourself like this shoreline. Now, her emotional waves can crash on you. The tide can rise, but does the shore move that much at all? Maybe over millions of years, but not that much, okay? That's what she needs to feel from you again. Something steady, safe, grounded. That is the masculine energy that she needs to connect. Something different than what she's used to.
What I'm doing now, after I've gotten control of my reactions, is I just let her just get it all out. And I say, yes, I did that. Or you're right, I didn't do that. And I just leave it at that. And if she wants further explanation, she can, if she elaborates, then I will answer once I know she's kind of calmed down.
Yeah. It's, and we talk about the key differences in the program a lot, right? But like one of the biggest ones is that logical, emotional importance on communication. And she wants understanding, not explanation, right? Like, how does she feel by those things? And as a guy, it's like if I just explain it to you, then you'll understand, right? For us, understanding is like logical. For her, like understanding is like, oh, you must have felt that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, this is the main skill that guys get immediately when they first come into our program. So if you want to set up a call with our team, a strategy call, click the link down below. Just make sure you're fully committed. And while you're building that emotional resilience, you also have the ability to strip out something that's been quietly killing attraction. This is the fourth step to kill the nice guy and become the man that protects her. Now look, from a former nice guy myself, right? Being too nice doesn't win her over as much as logically you think it would. So what do I mean by nice guy, right? When you try to avoid conflict, you laugh at things that aren't really funny, right? When you become the guy that you think she wants, because logically on paper, if you guys get along, then she should like you, right? And every time you compromise yourself, you're just not being your full self because you're afraid of the conflict and disconnect. Attraction and respect just erode. She feels that incongruency with you, right? It's not consistent. You're not being who you are. One guy even in our program said he'd laughed at everything his wife said just because he wanted to be on her good side. She would make a sarcastic jab in front of his friends, and he would just force a laugh to keep the peace. He thought it was supportive of her. The truth is that I think she saw it as weakness, right? That's the reality of the nice guy energy. It drains attraction because it's not authentic. You are draining your energy. You're not staying in your own energy. You're compromising pieces of yourself, literally your soul, to get her love, okay? The masculine, true masculine energy, apex energy, what we call it, right? Apex man in our program. He's value driven. He is calm. He's centered. You don't need to agree with everything. You don't need her to laugh. You don't need anything from her, right? You assume attraction. You assume positive responses. You stop putting her on this pedestal. You stop adjusting who you are to make her happy for her approval. But let me clarify here, okay? This does not mean you find things to disagree with her about. This doesn't mean you're rude. Doesn't mean you tease her overly and jab at her. And you see, some guys, they overcompensate, okay? She needs to feel that you're just not afraid to take up space and show who you really are, okay? To own who you are. Disagreement will be natural if you're being yourself. You can't agree with everyone with everything, right? And that's okay. You see, when you do this consistently, that's when polarity comes back into place. That's when you're in your masculine, and naturally, she'll fall into her feminine. She'll look up to you. She'll say, oh my gosh, this guy is on his own, happy without me. He's in his energy. I don't think he needs me. And that is so attractive. That's when you really unlock desire. Okay, all of it at once. Now, the fifth step is what we call masculine leadership through the indifference paradox. I've already alluded to this, but it's time for you to listen closely. The men who understand this concept, they speed up the process of getting the wife back. I'm not exaggerating when I say 10 times faster, okay, than those who really take a long time to truly understand it. So listen up. You want her, of course you do, but wanting and needing are not the same thing. That need, energy of me, try to feel the energy of me. It creates pressure. It changes your tone, your posture, your decisions. It makes her feel trapped. So naturally she pulls away because she wants to feel safe. She wants to feel protected, not needed. So when you build your life independent of her, it pulls her in again because that's how you were when you first met her.
You know, one thing that you alluded to that was super powerful was the decision to actually take action toward yourself, right? Actually investing into the program. A lot of guys don't understand. So when it comes to like getting their wife back or getting her to fall back in love, we operate in like a doing. Like I had to do these things instead of becoming, right? And so one thing I talk about when I was a dating coach was like attraction isn't something you do, it's something you are. Right? You can have two men saying the same lines, but one guy just knows how to embody himself differently than the other person. It's not the words, right? And so along with that idea, by you actually taking action towards yourself, you are creating this new identity of like, I take care of me. I deserve these things for myself. And that builds your self-worth. And then you start to develop this stronger identity that you are worthy, that you are valuable. And then she notices that.
There's a space in one of the greatest cinematic achievements of our time, Kung Fu Panda. Maybe you've seen it, but seriously, it's a moment that really, it explains it perfectly. You see, all Poe ever wanted was food, right? He's driven by it, right? Obsessed with it. It's what everyone expects from him. It's all he's known. Does that sound familiar? Now, I'm not sitting here criticizing you, but right now, that power dynamic is 110% in the wrong direction. You see, Poe, he fights with everything he has to get that doubling, right? He trains, he sweats, he digs deeper than anyone thought that he actually could. And in the end, when he finally wins, when he holds the doubling high, right, in this quiet, thundering moment of full mastery, he tosses it back to his sensei. You see, he lets it go. That's transformation. He doesn't lose desire. He rises above it because now he's centered in something deeper. That is the paradox of attraction. When you stop chasing, when you stop having to prove yourself, to supplicate, when you move from desire into a direction of what you want, that's when she feels something she hasn't felt in a long time. She doesn't see a man who's trying to win her back. She sees a man becoming someone she'd never second guess leaving. Now, if you want 10 practical ways to ditch those nice guy patterns, check out the video right here. It'll show you exactly how to replace those approval-seeking patterns. Also setting up a call down below, clicking the link. And one thing I want to say is, at the end of the day, listening to my words, hearing the stories, listening to the metaphors, it seeps into your consciousness a little bit. I'm planting seeds that hopefully, if you take correct action, it will blossom. But I have to tell you this from a place of love and care, and you're panicking, and I know that, and you're suffering. The only way you are going to get back what you desire most is by doing something different, is by doing something for yourself. Of course, I believe that our program is the best thing for that. But even if you don't choose to set up a call with our team, do something different. Watching these videos are great. Seek help from experts, even if it's not me, because going through the same motions of what you've been doing is not going to really change anything. Okay? Make sure you do something different. Don't be insane. All right. Check out the video. See you in the next one.